Good morning. Happy Monday. Today we are talking on leads versus clients. And we're going to share our sales funnel that we use here at Anna Powell Real Estate that I hope you guys will be able to take and reiterate into your own business and clean up those CRMs that sometimes are not telling a really great story of exactly what our lead flow looks like. So let's dive in. First off, this is just a quick message for team leads that may be watching. You guys are in the business of distributing leads, not clients, right? I think sometimes agents on teams have an unrealistic expectation of what the leads should look like once they come in, that they should be in client ready stage. I absolutely understand that in some cases we are able to provide that, but that is not the norm. And so the root of all misery is unmet expectations. So cleaning up this narrative, I think, with our agents of what is it that we are actually distributing out, those are leads, not clients, has been really crucial for me this year in particular, when we know that life cycles are getting longer on these transactions, and I can't guarantee the same speed of transaction that we could particularly during our COVID years, that a lot of our agents got really accustomed to. We're going to start off by talking about some lead life cycles. So these are some of our more prominent lead sources, but I want to start on the one that we all deal with, whether you love them or hate them. It's online leads. Life cycle of 6 to 24 months. I always assume 18. 18 is always my number on online leads. Obviously, depending on if you're a Zillow Flex program partner, we have Movoto. It just really depends on the platform to tell you where are you going to fall, because sometimes these things move straight into the bottom of the funnel, and they want to go look at a house, right on a house. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about more of these less expensive, supplementary, I don't know if that's a word, but it sounded good, online leads. Okay. So often longer post-COVID, again, on these life cycles. I always assume 18 months. These leads are early in the process. They're browsing, they're dreaming, they're gathering information. And this is why I think agents don't win well with these leads, because it requires really a two-part skill: the fast follow-up and the long-term nurture. And very rarely do I think agents are good at both, right? I'm really good with the fast follow-up. I'm not as good with the long-term nurture. Some agents are better with that long-term nurture, but they're just not going to be Johnny on the spot when that lead comes in to be able to get to the lead to start with, and they miss the opportunity to really actually have the conversion. Most agents give up too soon, and I can hear Colton Whitney as I record this video saying the leads don't suck, you suck, right? Your follow-up sucks. And I think that's so true so many times of these online leads. Sign calls. This is a huge business builder for our team. They can be instant. They can be up to 12 months. They are triggered by a specific home, right? But often the buyer isn't actually serious about that house. They are just signaling that they're ready to start the conversation. They've just decided that they're far enough along in the process that they're ready to get going. This is how you win: the quick callback, right? Or the quick answer, hopefully. And asking really, really, really great questions. Here's the thing. They called you, they want a cookie, right? They want the cookie. Give them the cookie. Here's the problem. We sometimes don't know what they're actually looking for, and we will not ask the questions to guide them to what they're looking for. We become the person who's just an order taker. Well, how many bedrooms is the house? Well, it's 3. How many square foot? This. Well, are there HOA restrictions? Yes, you can't have horses. But then that's where the conversation ends. We look as we're in some kind of servicing role. You're not in a servicing role on a sign call. You're in lead generation mode. These leads can be absolute gems in disguise. For us, one recent sign call turned into a $1.4 million listing and a $700,000 buy. I'm not saying that's going to happen every single time, but I promise you it will not happen at all if you do not qualify them. So they want a cookie. Find out what kind of cookie it is, because chances are it's not the one that they called about. And if you can do that, this can be an incredibly profitable sector for you. Excuse me. The sphere of influence. I'm a heavy sphere agent. A lot of our teams are heavy sphere agents. Just because you start nurturing your database and letting them know that you're in real estate and that you want their business does not turn them into buyers and sellers. Most of these people are not right now buyers and sellers. People have to see consistency in you before they'll trust you with their biggest investment. So here's how you win with sphere of influence. You have to stay visible, and you have to stay valuable, and you have to show up even when you don't think it's working. okay, which is what most agents will say about trying to lead generate from within their sphere of influence. Every single check-in matters. Every single reply to a story on Instagram, every single text message with a happy birthday message, every single mailer, every single month. That consistency is what is going to build this book of business for you over time. So my challenge is go into the database, right? And if we can help to understand where people are in the funnel, we'll know how to move them forward more strategically. And this is where I think that a lot of us as agents, we don't have this systematized. If you get Follow Up Boss or you get Brevity or you get any of these CRM programs out there, they have these predefined categories for you. They look like this: hot lead, nurture, 2-week out. Like, they have all kinds of crazy labels. And in some ways, if you don't understand what that means, it's like trying to work in a foreign language. This is more deadly on teams, in my opinion, because then there's a massive group of people working in different languages when we're talking about our most valuable asset, which is our pipeline, right? So I want to make a challenge for you guys to look at your funnel as a system. And if you do not have this, I'd be happy to help you walk through and get this developed. But at the very top of our sales funnel is what we call a subscriber. Who are they? They're people who entered our database through some kind of form, search, ad. We don't have a lot of context. We don't really know their intentions. We've not had conversations with these people. I remind my agents, these are not leads. These are opportunities, right? So this is like them coming into the initial funnel. They could be looking to see what their dead grandma's house was worth because they're just curious because their cousin got all the money from it and they're mad and they have no intention of making a real estate transaction. Or they could literally be, a lead that's 30 days away from an escrow closing. You don't have any idea. But you can't just treat these people like absolute hot leads and put all of your focus here every time they hit the database. This is usually what agents think that they want more of. I want more of these. Sure, you want more opportunities, but this is not more leads. We tell our agents on our team, if you don't want to chase these top of funnel contacts, that's okay. Opt out, pass on to someone who will. Solo agents, you don't have that option. Team leads, you don't have that option. But I will say that don't say it's a lead problem, right? If you're not willing to get in and play this game, because this is absolutely crucial to development. One level below sales or subscriber is our marketing qualified lead. This is really where we feel like we're in the lead stage. They have raised their hand. They've shown curiosity about real estate. So our agents that have people that they meet at an open house, right? Someone from their sphere raises their hand and says, hey, I think I might want to buy a new house and sell mine that you sold me 3 years ago. We're in that marketing qualified stage. They've responded to a text or an ad saying, yes, I'm interested in looking at this property, or yes, I want to, learn more about this. This is the true lead stage. There's motivation. There's intent. For those of you that LPT Mama, you can LPT Mama them. Almost all of those blanks can be filled out from what you know. There's huge opportunity here. And now it's your job to build the relationship. You have to stay close in this phase. You have to follow up with value. You cannot get discouraged if they don't convert immediately. Many of them are still going to be months out. This is where the bulk of your nurturing actually lives. And this is so, so important. Because if you only have a short period of time to focus on lead generation, this is the place where the gold comes. This is where you need to spend your time. But if you don't have them qualified correctly in your CRM, how would you know who's in this group, right? So this is where we encourage our agents to spend as much time as possible, because the next part of the funnel, as we move down and we narrow, is the sales qualified funnel. The sales qualified funnel means we've met them. We are having a consult over Zoom. We are in what we know to be belly to belly sales. You're having really high level real estate conversations. They're touring homes with single property disclosures. You're prepping CMAs. The key here is you're in active sales mode. Again, we can have a lot of agents that will stall out here because essentially they're not qualifying these as leads still. They're putting them in their heads as clients, and they're assuming that the work has been done. You cannot stall here. You have to push for commitment. You've built the trust. You've shown the value. This is where you have to move them into an agreement, because you need them to also know that they are a client. You need them to have the second part of the reciprocal relationship, that they have responsibilities to you. They can stall out here so easily, and agents think in this phase they've won, because they're meeting them in person, right? Especially online leads. This is where they think they've arrived. And you know it, agents, you do it. You start calling people clients well before you have documents signed, right? This is another crucial place where we can see a lot of stall out. And then this is that, we call it pipeline. You could call it whatever you want to. It's that client stage, right? You've signed an agreement, either a full, and we differentiate it, full buyer agency or a listing agreement. These are not your client. These are your clients now, right? These are not your leads. And they're not in really this sales funnel anymore. They're in your service pipeline. And I like to remind our agents here, and this can be the same for agents that are showing tons and tons of houses to the same buyer clients. If you lose them here, this is not a lead conversion issue. Now it's a service issue. And here's where I can hammer down every single time, and I can share the failure here comes from agents just not communicating clearly, keeping them engaged and informed, because again, they're now maybe going back to that marketing qualified, and this is not wrong, right? To want to go back into the pipeline and make sure that there are leads that are coming through at all times of the year. So you can't just get someone here and then just quit all of your lead generation. But this is where agents, I think, sometimes do stall out as well, because they don't over deliver, and you have to over deliver when you get to this phase, because you do not want to have the buyer who sits with you for 2 years. You want the buyer that is going to make a decision. And I want to show you this sentence that I think helps us define the marketing touches that we're going to make in our sales funnel. This is a Phil Jones-ism. It's not no to you. It's no to it. And it's no to it right now. The you grammar nerds I see right now, I already have some apostrophe issues. Whatever, it's fine. It's not no to you. It's no to it, and it's no to it right now. How does that translate into this sales funnel? Right here. So this is our sales funnel: subscriber, marketing qualified, sales qualified, and pipeline. We have 4 components. In the subscriber phase, you are trying to help educate that client and help them say yes to it. That is buying a home. That is selling a home. That is getting a refinance opportunity. That whatever it is, mortgage lenders out there that might be watching this too, it's it. Your sole focus should be on it. Right? So these are people that have entered into the database at the very, very top level. This is why this makes so much sense. Marketing qualified, again, at this point, they've raised their hand. They have curiosity about real estate. Now in marketing qualified phase, your marketing and your touch points and your conversation should be focused on why it should be you. Why should you be the person to help them get it? And then that sales qualified. This is where I said we stall sometimes. This is where you have to focus on the now. How do we move them to saying yes to it now? And then pipeline, this is where the money happens. And here's the deal. A lot of agents go straight to that pipeline. They go straight to those dollar signs. They're so outcome focused, they cannot handle themselves. This is the real process. You want them to go through all of these steps. So if someone in your sphere comes to you and they say, I'm ready to buy right now, you're going to have that tendency to say, oh, yeah, I put someone right in my pipeline. That immediate win. But you need to back up and you need to make sure, have I taken them through it? Have I taken them through me? Have I taken them through why now? Because otherwise, that pipeline could be right back up into that marketing qualified if you can't get them to move in a certain period of time. Sales funnels are so important. You have to make sure that you are working on a united language. If this is something you struggle with, this is something that we can help with. Again, a reminder that it is not your job to distribute clients, team leaders. It's your job to deliver opportunities and leads for your people. Individual agents that want to scale their businesses, this is what you have to do to keep a sustainable pipeline running. I'm so passionate about this topic because I think lead generation is something that can be so systematized in our business, and yet we hardly ever do it. As I start my one-on-ones this week for Q2 with my team, I will get a lot of asks for more leads, and we will just simply take them into their pipeline and say, where are you with X, Y, and Z? And the reality is we'll find that most of the subscribers that hit their database went straight into the nurture pond after 21 days because they didn't do anything with them. And we'll find that the bulk of their leads are stuck right here in marketing qualified. And we'll find very few people in the sales qualified pipeline phase. And we'll find that their closed deals are ones that never got entered into Follow Up Boss through these things and just started right here. And while that certainly pays bills now and then, it's not a system to live by. And we will help them understand that the sales funnel is a crucial part of building a sustainable business. So I would challenge you as Q2 really gets ramped up and going. Be vigilant, pay attention to your funnels, make sure you have these systems in place, and don't confuse a lead with a client. They're two different animals. And while the client sounds attractive because we know that the pipeline gets us to paid, there is a path that if you can keep your leads going down, this can remain very, very constant and you will look like you have instant wins all the time. Have a great Monday. See you guys soon on Zoom.